Simon Freitae.
Insecurities.
Simon Freitae.
Insecurities.
Hi.
Hello.
How we doing?
Oh, we are doing. I am tired.
And I am also tired.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 'tis the season to be tired.
Yep. I mean, it's basically Christmas every day now.
Yep.
So
the Halloween's over.
And then it's like Christmas, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas. You know what I mean?
Basically.
Yeah. Anyways, want to get into this week's segment?
Heck yeah.
All right, fam. So this week's topic is about financial insecurity. Financial insecurity. What are those two words? Well, to be financially insecure means to be insecure about your finances. But there's a real reason why we brought this up. Simon and I were kind of reflecting about just experiences that we've been having in terms of just like, if you're like going out with your friends and then one of your friends doesn't make as much money as you, so that's like limiting them from experience that like, having that experience with you, right? Or there's just like so many examples of that. I think like the first time that I was actually thinking about being financially insecure was when I was in college and they made you do those like dumbass icebreakers during orientation where like you all stand in a line and they'll be like, if you never had your electricity shut off, step forward. And then like all the people who are fucking poor like stay in one spot and then everyone else who's privileged takes a step forward and then like they look back and see you and they're like, oh my God, my friend is suffering. I need to save them. I feel so bad for them. And then you're just sitting there like, wow, my whole life is on fucking like on blast, exactly. Yep. And you're just like, I just met these people and now they all know I'm fucking poor. Great, thanks.
Yeah.
So just like it's funny, like just also recognizing the privilege that people have in terms of just like being able to marginalize you like that and ostracize you. So just stay woke, fam.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we were also talking about how we grew up in Everett, which is known for being like city of immigrants and like tough people and whatnot.
As Mr. Poole calls it, the United Nations.
Yeah, I guess. And so for us, like we just assumed that everybody else came from the struggle with us. But then when we came back home from our like first year of college, we were like, oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our friends we grew up with actually had money this whole time and thought they were struggling, but they really weren't because they like literally didn't have to worry about like if they were applying for financial aid, were they going to get like, a full package or whatever because their parents probably could afford to fucking pay for college. Like, so there's a lot of levels. So this is our kind of like, first gen college grad perspective. Sorry, that was a super long intro. But yeah, Simon, do you have anything to say to add to that intro?
I don't know. It's so hard for me to add to the intro without just jumping into the how that turns of table.
Well, I mean, if you want, we can just go there.
No, I shouldn't. We should. Yes, we should.
Make a decision, bitch.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. You kind of, like, I see there's, like, some points that you put here that, like, I vibe with, like, kind of being the broke friend, like, when you go out. Because I remember when I was, at least in middle school, there was so many times where, like, me, Amanda, and Jackie would go to, like, Kippo's, like, the Italian place in Everett. The Italian place. Like, one of the places.
One of the many.
Yeah. But, like, just one of the places in Everett where, like, you could just get chicken fingers and french fries for, like, $3 or some shit. Mm-hmm. And then I was just broke as shit. So, like, I would always hang out with them. And after school, like, people would always get food. And I'd just sit with them and maybe I'd get a french fry. Or, like, it's like maybe... I'd save up some quarters or like get $1 from my dad or like something that I could save up after a while or that I didn't spend on cookies over the week or something. Mm-hmm. But like, it's just I never experienced really having any kind of allowance. Mm-hmm. Like we randomly did. Like, it was like when we were like 7, we asked for it and they gave us $5 for 1 week. Yeah. But like
that was funny as hell.
Yeah, but like, it was always hard for us to like get to go to the movies on the weekends or like things like that. And I feel like that's an experience that not all, it's not always a shared experience.
And it's just something that's assumed, you know, and it's also because it's something that's frowned upon to be talking about. Like this is kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but Elizabeth Warren, in her book, she talks about the first time she realized that she was poor, and it was when she was talking to her mom, and she was like, "Yo, Mom, are we poor?" And then her mom was like, didn't say anything, because it was like just something they never talked about, was like their socioeconomic status or their class. And it's so true, because it's like the pride that comes with, you know, kids, like starting a family and whatnot. You don't want to tell your kids like, yo, shit's rough. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But you know who did tell their kids shit was rough?
Our dad.
Our dad. So this is our episode of How the Turds Were Tabled. Alrighty, Rue. So basically on this episode, it was around the time of, I honestly don't know. I knew it was like I was in high school and I was getting very sick. It was summertime. Like it was probably early summer, and I was getting sick of waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning and having the birds like yelling and these white curtains that didn't block the sun. So I told my dad, I was like, hey, I need to have black curtains, some dark curtains. I do not care. I just need to have the sun blocked for my birthday. Like, that is the only thing that I need. Because, you know, some people ask for an iPhone. I did. I got rejected. So I got curtains. So he basically said, well, you'll be lucky if we have electricity on your birthday. And I was like, so does this mean I'm going to get curtains? Or like, you know, it's just I don't see how these are related. So then it comes to like my birthday. I get surprised. Yes, I got the goddamn curtains. And then the next day I wake up and I'm home alone. And it's nice and dark in my room. And then I'm like, cool. So I got to turn on the light. And then I start flicking the switch. And guess what? There was no electricity. So, yep. Yeah. Really puts things in perspective. But really, Dad, did you really have to call it? Like,
he literally said it.
It's like he was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this on purpose.
Said, I know how I pay my bills.
August 16th, Simon, I know your birthday. Like, I made it. Like,
well, I remember when I broke my phone or something, and I like didn't have a phone for like 2 weeks maybe in like high school. And then I decided I was going to write people letters instead. I was like, yo, what's your address? Like, I didn't even know my friends' addresses. But when you think about that, like, you don't really know anyone's address until you go to their house. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's just interesting how like what?
Did you write people letters?
I did. I wrote people like little letters just being like, hey, I don't have a phone right now. Yeah, that shit was mad funny. I was so just like, cute. But I just want to like say some nice shit about you.
What grade was this?
It was like sophomore year high school. Me and Faith still do shit like that. Like we'll just write each other letters once in a while.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I was extra as fuck in high school. You know that.
Yeah.
Like I used to ride my bike everywhere until they got stolen. But we're not gonna talk about that. So, because that's another form of recognizing class. If you rode your bike or if you drove a car to school.
Yeah. And if you've followed our podcast, you've heard us talking about cars, and you've probably seen our, you know, the journey of me getting a car, because it's very recent. I've had a license for 5 years and I've had a car for 3 months.
It'd be like that though. It's fine.
Yeah. Things happen.
Yeah, money.
Shmoney.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a quick break. Hey.
Howdy.
So we just want to take a second to thank you so much for listening to us and to remind you of a few things.
1. Please follow us on Instagram at The Freitae Effect, on Twitter at TFEpod, and like us on Facebook.
2. Spread the love and share. Friends can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, follow on SoundCloud and Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio.
3. We want to hear from you. So we accept all forms of feedback and affirmations. Or if you have something that you want us to discuss that you find interesting, you can email us at thefreitaseffect@gmail.com.
And last but not least, go to patreon.com/thefreitaseffect and subscribe to become a patron, or make a small donation to help us continue producing this podcast, because you know why?
Because the shit ain't free.
Alrighty, let's get back to the show.
We are now back from the break, and we are gonna hop into this article that Azab has provided for us. So Asa, what is this article called?
We back. So, this article is brought to you by the Boston Globe. It's called Miracle on the Mystic, Chelsea, Everett, and the New American Dream. Dun 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 dun, by David Scharfenberg. Because his last name's hard to say.
Scharfenberg?
Scharfenberg. Anyways, Homeboy wrote this article, and my coworker sent this to me and was like, oh my god, yes, go Everett. And I was like, what? So then I read it and I was like, oh shit. So this article is very interesting. It's about how the cities that are just outside of Boston have a higher potential to get you to climb the socioeconomic ladder if you grew up there. So for example, places like Revere, Chelsea, Everett, if you grew up there, you have a higher likely chance of moving up the socioeconomic ladder. So for example, like if you were lower class, you might be like lower middle class or whatever, you know, because of your access to resources and education and, you know, childcare and just after school programs, mentor programs, other like, you know, lunch support, like health care access at like the student health center. Like there's so many things that we had growing up that a lot of schools in Boston do not have, just because of the politics and history of like racism and shit in Boston and segregation. Not to say that that also doesn't exist in other cities as well, but according to this article, it was saying that, you know, it might have been like a tougher time to have grown up in those cities, but you also were more likely to end up either in a vocational school or go to college or the army or some shit, which we all know if you're a person that grew up in Everett, that's usually the options. But like, it's interesting actually experiencing it, like being a product of that and an example, like, or a result of that. Because as we mentioned, Simon and I were not like, we weren't like, it wasn't horrible, but we were definitely like lower class, you know? And then after college, like we out here making probably more than our parents do. Like, you know, probably. And it's weird because even when I was moving, I was like, I feel like I'm gentrifying Dorchester by moving there and bringing my income with me and making it less accessible for people who already lived here. Because by me bringing my income with me and paying that rent that is unaffordable for them is therefore raising the rent in other houses within my area that I'm choosing to move to and pushing them out. So it's weird feeling like, you know, like you're adding to the gentrification when you came from the bottom, you know?
I feel like the way that you could combat that, though, you know, like, you know, combat adding to the gentrification would to be not to, you know, what the fuck? Like, take part in what's, you know, being produced based on that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
like continuing to support local businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like after you move there, you have to make sure that your coin is going to keeping the culture alive and not, oh my god, let's put a Sweet Green here. Oh my god, let's put a Whole Foods. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, but even if you do put those things there, how are you going to also continue to support that community by hiring people who lived there, right? Or also by not completely displacing what was there. So for example, if you're like, we're gonna build a football stadium here where there used to be like a community center or a dance studio, then you have to find another place for those things to also still exist and not just completely eradicate everything that was there that was a staple of that culture before, you know? And I'm not saying like all change is bad, but I'm just saying the things that are iconic to what make that city, you should invest in those things if you value the people who have lived there forever, you know, and who have no intention of trying to leave, but y'all just be coming through. So that's
the American way.
That's my 2 cents. So whereas this article was very, very informative and really interesting to hear that, it's also hella problematic because people who read the Boston Globe are probably people who are like, I can't wait to move to Massachusetts. Ooh, I'm going to move to Everett because that's a place that's affordable to my income. And now I'm going to take all my shit with me. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I love the accent.
I just had to do it. So it's like, if anything, it's kind of like, bring your kids here, where it's like, locals are just like, can you not?
Yeah, like, we already have a fucking casino.
We got enough bullshit going on. This casino out here, but like, that's not even the number one issue. You know, it's like, yes, like, thank you for applauding these communities for like making that possible, because that's like a fucking miracle.
But even they say in the article, like, they call us opportunity bargain neighborhoods.
It's such problematic ass wording,
and
yo.
it says rents are below the median for the area, and outcomes for the children are better than the median, and that gives low-income families an affordable shot at upward mobility for their kids. So I just gotta say, rents started not being fucking cheap because people started like moving in, and like, you know, gentrification started fucking happening. Like, it as soon as, the reason why we left Everett was because of that. Like, we got lucky. Like, you know, like, we got a place right in the nick of time. But, like, holy shit, there was a scary time. Like, there's always a scary time when you're moving, but there was a scary time, guys.
A scary time.
Yeah, like, but... yeah, this really just kind of advertises, like, Everett's a great place if you have, like, not that much money and want great kids' success lives.
Well,
and
not even. It's just literally, like, it's literally just saying, like, looking for somewhere cheap to live? Come through. Be Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Look at fucking Brooklyn. Just go look at it, guys.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Look at it. Just, I imagine Patrick being like, look at it. So, another point that the article brought up was, Azab kind of mentioned Elizabeth Warren a little earlier, and she had, you know, one of her things that she talks about is big structural change, and I just, you know, this one point in the article struck me so fucking hard, because it's like, we all kind of know this, but just to read it and, like, see it, like, just listen, guys.
Like they're not listening.
Yeah, just listen. Like,
listen, Linda.
3 billionaires, Bill Gates, William Buffett, and Jeff Bezos, have equal...
Besos for kisses.
What? Okay. Equal wealth as the bottom half of the U.S. population combined. Like, what the fuck?
3
like,
billionaires run the world.
3 people have more than, what, 150 million? Like...
$1 trillion.
Yeah, so, like... how are we supposed to expect anyone to succeed in this fucking world?
Because trickle-down economics, Simon.
Oh, yeah, because it's been trickling down for how many years? Like, the fuck?
Since Thomas Jefferson
Oh,
was
yeah,
in
ask
office.
John DeJoy about trickle-down economics. He has a lot to say. John DeJoy, you are my heart and soul. He was my U.S. policy teacher at UNH.
Did you say DeJoy?
Joe. John.
Get it together, bro.
I don't know. Yeah, John. Anyways, yeah. These bitches. Yeah. So, that's fucking striking. And
Yes.
And then they talk a lot about Everett, and like there's this one girl's story of how she turned down the, like, you know, living or the opportunity to join MS-13.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, for those of you who don't know, MS-13 is like a gang.
Yeah.
Like gang, baby.
Yeah, it's the fucking... I remember in 6th grade hearing like rumors of people being in MS-13 and being like, oh shit, and they were like, yeah, they got shot in a parking lot and now they're in the gang. And then it's like, oh, that's fucking cool. I'm just gonna eat this grilled cheese. There was a lot of other parts in the neighborhood, in the article, where they talked about violence in your childhood causing stress, and that strays your attention from, like, you know, schoolwork because you're just thinking about survival. And, you know, it's horrifying. And, like, this girl came to Everett and escaped MS-13, which is fucking lit.
She was living in, like, East Boston or something, right?
I think so, yes.
But it's also just, like...
yeah.
So problematic, but whatever.
But it was also like the 80s, probably, because they called Everett a mostly white neighborhood, and she was like one of very few Latina, like that is not the situation now.
That is not.
Like, that is experience.
I think it was because it says that she's like 40 something now, so I was just like,
so that would make sense.
Yeah.
But that was going on back then.
Well, because Everett used to be very Italian, and now it's literally one of the most diverse cities in the country.
It makes sense. I mean,
and it's like if you go there, it's a place filled with Haitians and Brazilians and like Vietnamese people and just like everyone from like all walks of life.
And still Italians.
And there are still Italians, exactly. Like y'all aren't gone.
Yeah.
Still run that shit.
Yeah. I mean, hence the Italian places.
But yeah. But like, yeah, it's a totally different experience growing up there now than way back then.
Yeah.
Which is reflective of any community. You know what I mean? It's just like you can go to any city and they'll say the same thing. It's just natural. It's kind of like when Dad used to bring us around to Brockton and be like, yeah, there used to be a Frosty place there, and like that's where Grampy's shop used to be. Like, it's just inevitable for neighborhoods to change. And it's just interesting to see how the populations of people who live in those neighborhoods and when they move, how they create a new culture. It's just nobody likes to deal with change because change is hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's different. And it's like when change is happening, you don't know what to do because it's a transitional process. And you're super uncomfortable because there's this ambiguity. Wow, I'm getting really deep for no reason.
No, go there.
But, like, yeah, so there's, like, this ambiguity which makes you, like, okay, I have no answers for what to expect, right? So then you're just, like, you're in a place where you have no power because it's kind of, like, at that point, you have to just start making decisions, you know? And then those decisions create your change, which then become your normal. Whoa!
Bam!
Financial insecurity!
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for following that.
Yes.
Sorry.
Fucking love it.
I hope that made sense.
Well, it did in the end.
Nice.
Lord. Great. So I feel like that was a great way to wrap up the article. If you feel, do you have anything else you want to say?
I do have a lot of feelings about thinking about how I have climbed that ladder. And now that I am where I am, I'm like, is it selfish for me to continue to want to go up the ladder? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, because I'm fucking entitled to that shit.
Yeah.
As much as everyone else is on this planet.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm not going to be greedy about it, right? And then it's just interesting to think about as you do try to climb that ladder, right? In your career or whatever makes you money, which usually is your career. There are just roadblocks that exist, and for me recently it hasn't been being a woman, it's been race. And it's just been really crazy to see people that I know who are insanely qualified for shit and they get rejected, or there's some kind of cultural roadblock because of whiteness, because of this whole, if you don't fit this personality type and this background of knowledge, like, you know, listening to the Beatles versus listening to like John Coltrane, you know, it's just like that level, it's down to that level, you know, of what gets you hired and what gets you promoted and what gets you literally anything. So that's just been shit that's been like on my mind, which I've been thinking about, that I'm just like, that is a major factor to what continues to keep people of color feeling financially insecure. And what makes it literally impossible for us to like get into these positions of power.
I mean, hell,
you know?
like, yeah, look back at our fucking hair episode. Like, you know, people weren't even getting jobs because of their hairdos.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's not fucking crazy to think that maybe your skin color has something to do with shit. Like, you know, maybe your culture has something to do clashing with a promotional opportunity just because of someone else's bias.
But it goes down to likability. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, nobody gives a fuck, like, what your actual GPA was or, like, if you're like sending the right email, they're like, oh, well, you know what? I like you and we work together and like we work together well and you don't make me want to kill myself every day. So like, you know what? You can get a promotion, you know? Bullshit. Sorry. I don't even know why I'm mad. I'm just mad all the time. But at the end of the day, it's capitalism just trying to shut us down. So you know what? Just remember, wake up and say, fuck capitalism and live your goddamn life.
Fuck it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Questions?
Well, questions.
Answer.
So Azeb, how many jobs did you have in high school? That's not an answer.
I had like 2.
2?
I think. I was in a lot of extracurricular activities. And most of the time when I had a job, it was over the summer because I didn't really do anything over the summer except for like band. But I could also like make money. So yeah, that's kind of what my situation was. How about you?
Other than working with Dad, then I had Kmart.
Oh my God, yes.
I worked 2 weeks and then gave my 2 weeks notice.
That was hilarious.
And then I had this like summer internship with TISA, Teens and Effort Against Substance Abuse, doing this whole campaign against marijuana.
Yes.
And then, so, and then we see what happened. But
Episode 3.
Yeah, but yeah, that was like all of the jobs I could do in high school because, so many extracurricular activities. Mom wouldn't even when I did that job in Kmart, Mom was just like, quit! I will give you all the money. I'm like, you weren't giving me any money before. That's why I got this fucking job.
Yeah. So, like, when was the first time you really kind of experienced being financially insecure?
I mean, I guess like my freshman year of college, like before I got a job, when it was like my first like few weeks, and I, everyone else was like buying stuff to decorate their rooms and like all that stuff, and I was like, I have $80. It's like, that is it. Like, if I want to get alcohol, if I want to get like anything at all, if I want to get on a bus,
and you're in
like,
New Hampshire.
Like if I want to go home this weekend, like this is what I have until Thanksgiving. Like, it's like if I don't have a fucking job, so like I have $80. So like then I, and I would buy shit to make it look like I had fucking money, so that like people wouldn't be like, well, why? Because people would be like, your side of the room is like so empty, like they have so many posters on that side, and I'm like, I didn't see any posters I like, and it's just like,
that's a good excuse.
And it's just like, no, bitch, I'm broke as fuck. Like, and it's like, then they walk away, and I'm like, bitch, we ain't friends anymore. Fuck you.
Facts.
But like, because cut toxic bitches out of your life. You won't be judgmental. Get out.
Heard.
But like, some people, like, it takes a minute, and then they like, cool. But anyways, I'm like. But I'd say like my first like few weeks of college, it was like really apparent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So would you say your first time would be that icebreaker? Or
No.
like...
No. I always knew we were poor.
Well, I always knew we were poor, but like.
No, you know when I really knew?
What?
That we were fucking poor.
When?
I don't know. I had like a mental breakdown senior year of like high school, but who doesn't? But it was like a bad one, and I was just like, we're so fucking poor. I was so fucking mad because I think I was just like, I don't even want to apply to college. Like I was just like saying mad shit, and Dad was like. This is the first time Dad made sense, and I was like, whoa. And he was just like, look, like, you don't have to go to college. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's an option? And like my whole brain changed, and I was like, no, I have to go. I was like, I have no fucking choice. Like, we've done all of this shit. I can't just not. But like then I think about like, if I did actually consider that, I'd be a totally different bitch right now. Which I'd be 100% okay with however she would have turned out.
Yeah.
But I think about my friends that did actually take a year off, and they're fucking thriving now. And I'm like, I should have taken a fucking year off. And I'm going to tell my children that the fucking college is like a fucking another prison slavery system for you to be fucking tied to debt and like capitalism.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing that you really miss out on by not going immediately after high school is whatever that like, the experience. Like, like...
And it's like, you don't even get that experience when you're first gen.
Yeah.
Unless, like, somebody actually told you the secret that, like, no one gives a fuck what you got for undergrad.
Yep.
And that you can go to literally any school and, like, have the same fucking experience. And, like, you don't even have to actually care about your GPA. And, like, you can, like, live. You know what I mean?
Wait a second. What?
Yeah. Literally. If you're a college student, just quit all of the groups that you're a part of right now.
Yeah.
Literally. It doesn't matter. Like, nothing fucking matters, but we're not going down there.
I mean, they don't quit all the groups. Like,
okay, I'm
some
saying...
of you need some time management skills, guys. Like,
okay, you don't have to quit everything, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Because when you apply to jobs, no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, you were in the Black student organization. You know what I mean? Like, unless like that's relevant for some reason for why you're applying to that job. But yeah, when I had that mental breakdown, I was like, I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? I was just like, being poor sucks.
Yeah.
But it's really amazing to see people who have made it. And dude, have you ever gone to like a budget meeting for like a school council or just any kind of city politics?
Nope.
Seeing people who grew up with money not know how to manage the budget of a city or the budget of a school system is so fucking concerning. And that is the fucking case out there. That's why like cities are out there in debt. And I'm just sitting here like, if y'all had somebody who grew up in the struggle, that person would know how to manage their fucking finances. You know what I mean? So people of color or people who are like, you know, coming from the struggle, if you want to run for office, go fucking do that shit.
Just do it, guys.
Because, like,
we need you.
Do you see the trash?
Please.
Do you see the shit?
Oh
no
God.
one knows what they're doing. Sorry, every episode. It's just concerning. But do you think that you grew up surrounded by people who, like, were also, like, within your class or, like, friends who might have felt like they were also financially insecure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel like... I don't know if I tried, but I feel like I kind of surrounded myself with people around the same, like, class as me.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of my friends were a little better off, but most of my friends were, like, one-parent households.
Yeah.
So, in the parent department, then, you know, like, I had two parents. So, like, but they both, you know, they don't make... I don't know how we make... I don't know how we survive.
I don't know how we survive.
I really, guys,
Literally,
I don't
shout
know
out to
how...
y'all. Y'all are the
good for you.
finessers
Like, I have
of the
no
system.
idea how we made it through high
For
school.
real.
What the hell?
I really don't know how we afforded
I've seen what you guys make.
Shit.
What the heck?
Yeah,
but,
after we had the first,
like,
I think maybe the first time I realized that we were broke was when we did FAFSA and I like saw how much they both make and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, how have we been alive?
That was, yeah.
Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would ask other people, what do their parents make? And they're like, oh, this. And I'm like, oh?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's an option?
I was like,
Wild.
people actually make 50 grand. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wow. I have to go home. Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't belong here.
Yeah. Maybe like a couple of my friends were better off. But usually, like, yeah. My friends were around my economic status.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think I had a wide range of friends growing up, so like I kind of experienced like all of it. But my closest friends were friends that were going through the same like shit that I was going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense because it's, you know, shared experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional at all, though. It's just like, that's what I'm saying, though, is like, if you don't have these shared experiences with certain people, that's going to be a roadblock for you in the future.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is what the pure roadblock is in the workplace for being able to move up anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. We cracked the code. So all you have to do is just be white.
Yeah.
That's what we mean.
Halfway there, guys.
Oh, well, I mean, we're halfway there.
Fuck.
Racial jokes. Awkward. Just drag them all.
Shit.
Anyways,
So, Azem.
you want to take these keys?
Oh. Am I taking a key?
Take the keys.
Take a key, put it in your pocket, take it out, and unlock the door. So.
That was cute.
Yeah.
I like it.
I guess a big key takeaway for me is, you know, just don't assume everyone has had, okay,
Literally.
the same experience.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, like, we didn't all grow up the same. As much as we all have these fucking memes with the sewing kit and like all that shit.
I don't know how we all had
like,
the same childhood.
We had the same childhood, but we did not fucking grow up
but
the same.
Did not, yeah.
Like, you know, so just always take that into consideration. Be aware of your own ignorances and biases.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hurt someone by accident, they still got hurt. Words were said, and all you gotta do is say I'm sorry.
That's it. Own up to your shit.
Yeah, taking responsibility is an adult thing. You know, that's all you gotta do.
Keep it coming.
So that's what I gotta say. Yeah.
Take my keys.
Oh shit.
Wow, can I take your keys?
You want my keys?
Yeah, give me your keys.
I wish I had keys on me.
Damn. Hold on. Yeah, we got it.
Hold on.
I'm dead.
You want my keys?
Can I have the keys? I got the keys.
She got the keys.
Baby. Anyways. Sorry about that. My key takeaway, reiterating everything Simon said, like literally emphasize ×2. If you're feeling like you are that friend, that is like the broke friend, just communicate that shit to your friends. Mm-hmm. Just like literally let them know like, yo, I have a lot of bills to pay. I do not make enough fucking money. I cannot go out with you this weekend because I need to fucking worry about surviving. And if you have good friends, they will understand that. But also, if you know that you have a broke friend, be considerate when you're making plans. You know, if it's like, okay, I want to go to the movies, and then like your homie is like, nah, like I can't afford it right now, and then you're like, okay, what if we went on Tuesday when it's like $4, you know? And it's like, you gotta, like, if you want to see these people who are not in your class, but also you love them, you have to like consider their situation and make it work. That's called friendship.
Wow.
It's called being respectful.
Considering.
That's love.
Empathy.
Something we all lack.
No, wait.
Sorry, it was sad. Sad girl shit.
Sad girl club.
Don't even get me started about sad girls club. That's my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we enter this seasonal depression of winter,
seasonal affective disorder,
be aware of what you are choosing to do with your money and time. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Show.
Any announcements, fam?
Oh, what do I gotta say? Nothing.
No?
No. Do you have any announcements?
When does this episode come out?
Oh my god. Not next week, but the one after.
Happy Thanksgiving, hoes!
Oh, gobble gobble!
Get your turkey on or your tofurkey on.
Yeah.
Eat those sweet potatoes. Get your gravy.
Yeah.
Put your hand in a turkey's butt.
Stuff it.
Yeah. Whatever you do on Thanksgiving, live your fucking best life, and also just like fuck the Brits and fuck the Pilgrims. Yeah. And we support our indigenous people, and don't go chasing waterfalls. Go to Plymouth Rock and protest instead of eating dinner with your family, because fuck the Mayflower and
You gotta stop.
and Christopher Columbus.
Sign off.
I hope this comes out the week of Thanksgiving.
Jesus Christ.
Because I was never going to stop. I was going to be like in Pocahontas, fuck John Smith. Okay, I'm done. Okay. I'm seriously done now. Oh, shit.
Okay, sign off. Be sure to like the episode, share it with friends, and follow us on social media. Subscribe and comment on SoundCloud. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream us.
Email us or comment on social media or leave a meaty
review. Meaty claws.
Oh my god. Just leave a review with any feedback, please. Affirmations or topics that you want to hear on the show, email us at thefreitaeeffect@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week. We love you.
Goodbye.
Ciao, mi amors.